What's up, everyone? Dre here. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's video. Today I want to discuss a topic that I haven't gone too much into detail in the past, but I have mentioned it a few times here and there in a couple videos and in my new ebook, Fire Starters. And that is, don't stay stuck on that first draft of your dreams. So many of us, especially in our youth, we create a blueprint for our lives. We set out with this idea, with these dreams, and with these goals. And a lot of the times, we grow up saying, hey, I'm going to go to school here. I'm going to learn this. By the time I'm 25, 26, I'm going to work for this guy, and then I'm gonna, or I'm gonna work for this company, and then by the time I'm 30, I'm gonna have kids, and they set out this whole plan for their lives, and I've done this time and time again myself. And it's good to set out with an intention, 100%. It's good to have an intention, but where it becomes dangerous territory is when you stay closed-minded to everything else outside of that idea or that vision. When you do this, when you stay primarily just married to that first initial idea, you leave no room for God to play around. You leave no room for God to make revisions to that first draft. And I'm not trying to sound like a poster child or anything like that. I mean, you guys know my heart. Because obviously I've made a lot of mistakes myself. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I remember when growing up, I played basketball. For a lot of you that don't know, let me turn that off. For a lot of you that don't know, I played basketball growing up, and I was fully engulfed in that, right? I invested a lot of time, a lot of money, my parents' money, and I played club basketball, travel basketball. I played for my school, and my whole life was consumed by basketball. Probably 5 to 6 years down the road, after giving my heart and soul to basketball, I found a new love for music. And once God kind of downloaded that passion or that dream within my heart, I could see it clear as day. I already saw myself on stage performing. I saw myself writing music and doing all these things. And all of a sudden, that first day that I kind of got that glimpse from God, I went after it 100%, and all of a sudden I had a lot to say, and so I got to writing, I got to making beats every day, and I went 110% in that. And then sure enough, a few years down the road after that, Slick Hair TV then hit me up. They heard our music, me and my brother's music. They asked to use it in their videos, and they then asked me, "Hey Dre, you got some cool hair. What? Do you mind making some videos?" And at first, for those of you that know the story, I was not feeling this. I was not, that was the last thing on my mind, was to make hair videos. I don't know, I kind of thought it was a little cheese ball. I was like, I was so engulfed in the music. I was like, dude, this is the last thing I want to do. So I went back, I told my mom, and she's like, you better do this. This is an amazing opportunity. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, no, I'm just telling you because this is funny. They want me to make videos. And she's like, no, you need to get in that room right now and go make some content. So my mom fully forced me to make the first couple of videos, and not forced me. At the end of the day, it was my choice, but she very much encouraged me. And told me the possibilities that could become of it. And so I took advantage of it. I made a couple videos for Slick Hair. And that first video I made, though, specifically, I remember when I posted it, I was checking out the comments just to kind of see what people thought. And to my surprise, I saw the impact that this one video had on so many people, thousands upon thousands. And it just tripped me out. I never knew that God could use my hair video of mine to actually have impact on other people. Tripped me out. And so, long story short, from there on out, I saw the impact it was having, and then I started my own channel. And I was like, I could really do something with this. I could really let God move through me through this channel. And so I created these videos, and then shortly after that, I then came out with Shavu, my hair brand, with my brother. And it was his, I believe it was like his initial idea. We got together, and then we had some other people involved, and then we had this brand, and so much has became out of that now. But what I'm trying to say is, throughout all these things, throughout any season of my life, I've tried to stay open. That's always been my goal. Just stay open to God, open to God's ideas, open to whatever He has for me. And every time I've done that, it's just open doors have been continuously there for me along that path, along that journey. And another thing is that one thing I specifically learned that has even been sticking with me to this day is to never skim, or how could I say, never overlook a season in your life. Never use a season in your life as a stepping stone just to get to the next season. Appreciate every season for what it is, whether it's a good season or a bad season. Appreciate it, learn from it. Me, my bro Joel and I always say, we don't take no L's. It's kind of a joke, but we're pretty serious at the same time. It's it's kind of like a facetious matter for us. Like, we laugh about it, but we're dead serious. Like, there's a quote that says, "I either win or I learn, but I never lose." And with any situation you face in life, especially the struggles, especially the pain, you can find great growth within that season. And that's why I highly encourage everyone, to never overlook those down times, those seasons that may seem rough, or even those seasons that are not necessarily bad, but just the seasons where you're like, why did I even go through that? Like, for me, it was basketball. It was like, at first, after basketball ended, and I kind of broke my parents' heart shortly there for a little while, because they invested so much time and money into me, and they really wanted to see me do something with basketball, and I could have, but then I had a change of heart. But I took that season of my life because after that I was like, why did God even take me through all this basketball, if I was never going to do anything with it? But I realized all the self-discipline I learned from basketball, I then applied it to music. And I engulfed myself into that, and I fully gave it my all with music. And then, of course, everything else I do in life, I use that self-discipline that I learned growing up, and now I apply it to every other area of my life. And so, at the end of the day, you guys, one thing I have learned is that the times I felt most destroyed and the times I felt most disappointed were the times I held on too tightly to my own plan, right? And that's why it's so important to consistently stay open for God to make revisions to that first draft. God can do so much with your life when you stay open. And how do you stay open? It's a daily walk. It's being in a dance with Him daily, creating that rhythm and being able to hear that voice of God to help guide you and direct you. And that's just spending time with him daily. Especially, when you're going through those down times, those struggles. That's where God likes to work. I feel like that's kind of his territory. That's where he likes to build you the most, is through that dirt. It's like any kind of plant or flower. Before it's a flower, it's a seed. And the seed has to go through the dirt. It has to weather the storms, has to be watered constantly daily for it to then blossom and bloom and become what it was destined to be. And God's kind of like that gardener who's constantly watering it and making sure that it's growing, right? But the seed he never sees what the gardener's doing. He's only in there in the dirt. That's all he sees is dirt and ugliness and darkness. But God's on top, every day as a gardener, protecting the seed, making sure it's growing, making sure that it's safe. So that's kind of how life works. There's a scripture that also says, which it reminds me. It says, now to him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly all that we ask or think, according to the power within us. It's funny because so many people take that verse and they kind of like use it to their advantage for like their own success, and they basically, so many people think, oh, and I've done this plenty of times myself. I'll take that verse and I'll be like, as long as I follow God and, I pray to him and I make him the center of my life, then he's going to just give me everything I want exceedingly and abundantly. He's just going to make everything work out great for me. And most people they don't look at the words shortly right after that says above all that we can ask or think, right? There's another scripture that says God's his thoughts are not our thoughts. His ways are above our ways. So basically meaning, it's above all that we ask. He's going to do exceedingly abundantly, but all above we ask or think. And his thoughts are not our thoughts. So he's going to do it his way, right? He's going to do what he thinks is best. And about 99% of the time, the way he's going to do things is drastically different from the way we are going to do things. That's why it's so important to never stay stuck on that first draft of your life, because you will always be 100% disappointed if you stay so married to that first draft, and if you don't allow God to make those revisions, if you don't allow him to readjust and make edits to that first draft. So I encourage you guys, understand that the muck, the struggle, all those down times, that's where God likes to play. That's where God likes to build you up, shape you, and mold you, right? And ultimately, this is where faith comes in. We all like to say that we're faith-based dudes, but at the end of the day, faith is dead without works. It ain't nothing until it's tested. So, when you face those trials, let God move you. Let God build you. Because at the end of the day, you have no control over the results of your life. You gotta, and if you think you do, you're always going to be, like I said, 100% disappointed. So you gotta hand that over. When they say let go, let God, that's serious business. It's heavy duty stuff right there. You gotta let go, let God take care of the results, because you have no control over them ultimately at the end of the day. But what you do have control over is your effort and your attitude through it, through the journey, through the pain. You have control over the effort that you put into each day, and you also have control over your attitude. What kind of attitude are you going to have through the down times? So, at the end of the day, let the results, let God handle those things. You control what you can control, and keep a good attitude through it all. So, I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you dug this kind of vibe, something a little different. I would like to continue doing stuff like this. Like this feels a little bit more personal, feels a little bit more one-on-one, opposed to me creating like these, lifestyle videos that are a lot shorter, like 5 to 8 minutes long, and that have like B-rolls playing, flashing lights, all these edits and cool effects. I mean, I love doing that stuff too. I will always continue to do that. It's my passion. However, I think this is also kind of cool too. Just to speak with you, speak straight from my heart, not having to worry about editing and taking out stuff, and just letting the camera roll, letting the mic just go. So appreciate you, love you. If you dug this video, please be sure to give it a nice big thumbs up. Subscribe if you are new, and be sure to hit that notifications button to be informed when I drop new content. And I'll see you very soon. My name is Dre Drexler. Shaka bra.